Welcome to another edition of Siemens Community Conversations of our Technomatics Virtual User Group. My name is Kelly Gallagher, and I'm the Digital Marketing Manager supporting the Siemens Technomatics portfolio, including plant simulation. Today, we are joined by Steffen Bangsow, who is going to demonstrate how to dismantle in plant simulation. For a quick introduction, as many of you know, Steffen is a freelance simulation expert with his work beginning in 1999. Since then, Steffen has published 5 books on plant simulation, completed hundreds of trainings, and is one of the leading contributors to the Siemens community site. For today's demonstration, Steffen will walk through how to use the DismantleStation, including dismantling for the pick-and-place robot, as well as for SimTalk. Steffen will be demonstrating these capabilities in lifetime, and then at the end we'll have a Q&A. So you can either use the chat to prompt your questions, or you can also use the hand raise feature on Teams, and we can take you off mute so you can ask your question. And with that, Steffen, I will hand it to you.
Hello again to a new session. Today I will show you how to dismantle in plant simulation in different ways. But I start with a frequently asked question, how to model split up operations. For instance, you have one part and you have a saw and you split the part into several parts. And for such tasks, you can also use the DismantleStation. So before we start with dismantling, one short example. I start with a source. In user objects, you have now 2 parts already. I changed part 2 in the size to 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. So I have a small part, and part E is still the big part, and my source should create part E. And then I need the DismantleStation. And to see what we are creating, I add one conveyor here. And I need a train. I connect all this together. Okay, here's already a connector and the last one. Okay, I want to split up one part E and 12 part B. And so I need to make some settings here. First, I have different dismantle modes. Here I want to create new MUs, and I need to select main MU after other MUs. The main MU should run at the end, and then we get a dismantle table. And here I can define what kind of MU I want to create. I want to create part B. And now this is the trick. I create here only 11. And it goes to successor number 1. I have only 1. And the 12th part I create with a new MU as main part. And then I can select part B again as the 12th part. This may also be some remaining that you sort out. But if you have, for instance, some process where you have 12 parts that you can use in the next process steps, then this is the right setting. And now we have one part A, and it creates 12 parts B from this. And so you can use the dismantling station here also for splitting operations, for instance, or if you have some process with cavity, then you create from one several smaller parts. Okay, this was one additional point here. And now I want to show how different ways to dismantle parts from a box, for instance, with different ways in plant simulation. For the demonstration, I need a source. Then I need one conveyor. And I start with the dismantle station. And then I want to see what I have to, what's left here in this process. And so I need one more conveyor. Okay, first I need to create a full box. Our last webinar was how to assemble stuff here in plant simulation. I want to go here a very easy way. I need to set up the box first. I want to have 6 parts inside the box. And so I change the dimension of the box. Then I need to set the box as mu in this source, and I want to have an interval of 10 seconds. And now I can use an entrance control in the source to fill the box with parts. And I want to create part B in the box. And so I create an entrance control in this source to fill the box with parts. And this you can do with using a loop while at point full is false. Part B, create. And add is here the box that triggers the entrance control. This is the easiest way to create a full box using SimTalk. Of course, you can use an assembly station for this, for instance. Okay. I need here, for instance, a second conveyor and a train. If I now start the simulation, okay, you can see there are 6 parts inside of the box here. And I made no settings in the dismantling station, and let's have a look what is happening here. So it distributes the parts here, and so it doesn't work without the setting. And I want to detach MUs. This is very important. Main MU goes to successor number 1. This is okay. This is number 1, and this is number 2. And exiting MU is the main MU. I want to keep the box. Let's have a look. Okay, with this basic settings, the box will be empty complete. You see, okay, the box is empty, and here are all 6 parts I want to unload only one part in each step, and so I need to change the setting here. Again, I select main MU after other MUs. First should exit the part I want to unload, and then the remaining box with the remaining 5 parts should exit this object. And now I can define a dismantle table. This changed a little bit in the last versions. Now I need to define a MU type, and a MU type is the class from the class library. This is part B. I drag it into this table. I want to unload only one, and it goes to successor number 2. And in this way, I also can define other types here and can sort parts to different successors. This is enough to unload one part B to successor number 2. Okay, here is one part, and here we have 5 parts left. In the next step, I want to use a pick-and-place robot to dismantle, to unload also one part out of this box. And so I need the next train, and I need a pick-and-place robot. I connect the pick-and-place robot with the train, and then I drag the pick-and-place robot onto the conveyor. You get a selection field here. You need to select what you want to do. I want to unload the part here. Okay. This creates one sensor, and the sensor has also a sensor controller. Okay, let's have a look what's happening here. Okay, in the basic setting, now the pick-and-place robot empty the complete box and then releases the box. And this is not the behavior I want to have. I want to have only one part unloading. The pick-and-place robot should only unload one single part, and then the box should continue moving here. So I need to change this sensor control. Let's have a look what plan simulation is creating here. So you can double click on the sensor here in 3D, and then you get the sensor dialog, and here you have the sensor control. Press F2, and then we get the default program. And this is the problem here. This loop, it runs until the box is empty, and so we don't need this loop here. And so I delete this loop. And I can this is the trick here. You address the one part from the box and move this part to the PickAndPlace robot. And then you wait until the part has left the box. MU location is not is the box in this case, is not the box anymore. And this we don't need here. And then this I don't also need. And at the end, the box will start moving again. And okay, we can delete more stuff from here. I can and the mu I want to move. This is one part out of the box. And this part I move to the PickAndPlace robot. And then I wait until the part has left its location, and then I can start the box again. So let's have a try. Okay, it's moved only one part here, and in the box I have now four parts left. Of course, you can use directly SimTalk for moving parts out of the box. It's quite easy. I need one more conveyor. It's now conveyor 4. I need one more train. And I need a sensor control. So I place a sensor here on the conveyor, create sensor, and with F4 I create a new sensor control. And at the sensor control, I stop the box at the point stop true. I can wait a little bit for simulating some unload time. And then I access one part out of the box, again with add.quant, point move, and I need to set conveyor 4 as destination. Move only moves the front to conveyor 4, and so I need to wait a little bit until the part has entered the conveyor 4 completely. For instance, with wait again 1 second, and then I can start the box again. This is quite easy. And now I have only 3 inside of my box. In the next step, I want to unload the box with the worker. The worker should come and load one part out of the box and bring the part to a source. And so I need first to I need some mechanism for calling the worker, and I guess since 2404, you can only also assign to the conveyor an transport importer. It's the only one importer that you can set here. And so you can split up a conveyor, for instance. I just create another conveyor here. Okay. You can use the transport importer of the conveyor to call a worker. And so I can add here a workplace. Okay. Conveyor to exit. You have now a setting here in the workplace where you where the conveyor should be located at the exit here, and we need to. Okay, I need first to create the destination. The destination should be a train again. It's now train 4, and train 4 should have a workplace. We don't need an importer here. And then I can activate here for conveyor 2 the transport importer. And MU target is train 4. And of course, I need a broker. And I need a worker pool. And with this basic setting, the worker should come and take the box and bring the box into the train. It's not exactly what we want. We need to adjust this behavior then. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Now the worker is transporting the complete box into the train. And so we need to adjust this behavior. So first we need to uncheck this, wait for free target. It brings some side effects that we don't need here. And so I need to deactivate this. And then we can change the behavior of the worker with the unload control of the workplace. This is a really nice feature, and you can hear a presentation at the Realize Live next Wednesday about this topic from me, because you can do a lot of stuff using the unload control. So I create the unload control. The unload control is called when the worker enters this this workplace and he has the service to load a part here. And then you can change the basic behavior. For instance, I want to load one part out of the box and move the box forward instead of getting the complete box. And so I need to adjust the control, the basic control that Blend Simulation creates here. Okay. I don't need this here. MU, this is the MU here is question mark. It's in this case here the workplace, and the connection to this to the conveyor you get with question mark dot station. .cont here is the box, and .cont is one part out of the box. And before we can load this box onto the worker, I delete all the stuff here. Don't need it. We need to address the part. Destination is train 4. And then I move this MU onto the worker. And the worker in this case is add. And then I use the same stuff, wait until MU add dot. You'll find this in many Siemens programs. I wait until the MU tilt it's the same as location is at. I wait until the MU change the position onto the worker. And then it's, yeah, okay. If you load something on the worker will start moving toward the destination and unload this part there. And I only need to do at the end, I need to move the box. On this conveyor 5. Okay, and that's it. And all the other steps, the worker do by itself. Oh. Seems the control is an unload. Okay. One more step. Okay, I create a user-defined attribute here. Box of type object. And then I create an exit control here. Here I have the example on my other screen. I try to find the failure. One moment. Interesting. Okay. Maybe I don't have saved. Doesn't call the control, but why? Yeah. It's the load control, not the unload control. Sorry. Okay, now it's dump error. Okay, now I can check it with F11. And now it's working. Yes, it needs a bit load control, not unload control, and then it works. The work is empty, and so it calls the load control, and in the load control you can change the behavior of the worker. And now we have only 2 parts left. And one more way to unload the box here is, of course, still the transfer station. And to use the transfer station, you need to add the transfer station to your class library. And so you need to go to Manage Class Library. You find the transfer station here in Tools. It's free. And then you find it here in Tools in the class library, transfer station. Okay, I drag it here. I need one more train for as destination for the parts. And I need the position on the conveyor here. And so I just check it. Okay, it's 4.5 meters. And then you need to adjust the transfer station. You need station type is unload here in this case. The parts come from conveyor 5. And then you need to set the sensor position 4.5 meters. Target is on train 5, I guess. Yes, train 5. And then you have time, only 1 second. And with advanced attributes, you can set, okay, I don't want to have unload all. I only want to unload 1 block. And block size is 1. Okay. And then also this transfer station will unload 1 part from the box, and at the end we should have 1 part left. Okay, and that's it. We have one part left and 5 different ways to dismantle parts in plant simulation. Are there questions?
Great, thanks, Steffen. And as maybe everyone's coming up with questions, I can share some information on our upcoming user groups as well. If you're not following the plant simulation community, you can navigate to the plant simulation virtual user group on Siemens community site. And then on the right-hand side, you can subscribe for email notifications. And if you choose to subscribe to every post, then you'll receive notifications of upcoming virtual user groups, and then also sessions that have been published that can be watched on demand. So our next session, Steffen will be guiding on Wednesday, July 9th, discussing overall equipment availability and efficiency. And then on Wednesday, July 23rd, we'll discuss how to use marker reservations for free moving AGVs. And as Steffen mentioned, we have Realize Live Europe right around the corner, happening next week, June 30th through July 2nd in Amsterdam. This is Realize Live is Siemens' largest user group conference. And if you're not able to be there in person, many of the presenters' sessions will be recorded and available on demand after the event. And Steffen will be there presenting at the Plant Simulation User Conference, discussing crane simulation and worker synchronization. So if you are there, make sure to stop by his session as well. And with that, I will also leave you with Steffen's contact information. And let's go back to the chat and see if there's any other questions.
Okay, if the dismantling process is lengthy, for example, require a type A worker for 1 hour and type B worker for 2 hours, how can we manage it in a DismantleStation? We had already a webinar for this topic. You need to split up the process. I don't know if it's working with the DismantleStation. You will need to take a normal station then and create some sub processes. And you can use out-in. This is a method in the exit control to stop one part of the process. Then you need to reset the service table of the importer and then create a new sub-process, for instance, by moving the part back to the same station, or without in and the parameter -1. But you will find a video in the virtual user group for this topic. Okay, then thank you. Until next time, or at Realize Live.
Okay, thank you. And if you'd like to continue conversations, please do so in the Siemens Plant Simulation Virtual User Group community. That's where Steffen and others are very active within the forums there. So if there are additional questions after this session, please know that you can find the group there. Thank you, Steffen, for today. And we look forward to welcoming you to the next and the future virtual user groups. Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.